time and command.
Hey everybody, King Hulk here with another great episode of FetCast for you. Joining me this week is DespoenaCalypso, and we are talking about Dollification. Let's just jump right into the show. Welcome to FetCast. Well, joining me again this week is DespoenaCalypso.
Woo! Hi.
For FetCast 38. Still feels like 37 though.
It's funny how that works, isn't it?
Yeah, people have been... I posted the other night, last night, that I haven't had this week's episode recorded yet, and people are getting on me that I need to start recording more than one at a time.
Well, you have granted their wish. We can do it like once a month, like we talked about. It'll be fine.
Yeah. The hardest part about doing that is just lining up the episodes and the guests and the topics. But
just keep asking me questions on Twitter, and you'll always have topics.
yeah, I know. Like, I honestly thought I was gonna skip last week, and then I'm just on Twitter. I'm like, get on, and we just start going back and forth. Mm-hmm. Then you discreetly slide into my DM box.
I'm just slipping things your way, man. That's all.
Oh, it's fun. Plus, when you're on, I don't have to talk too much. I think I said like 20 words last week.
But you asked really good questions, and you had really good insight. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah. And we meant to talk about last week, but we forgot about it till this week, meaning 5 minutes later. Mm-hmm. Apparently, you have something you want to say about Dick Drool.
It's amazing. Dick Drool is awesome. And I loved everything about that episode, number 36. It cracked me up. And, like, the consistency of it and the taste of it. And you can, like, touch your finger to the dick and pull it away. And it's like a string of drool. And, like, then you can slap people with it. Or you can can write your name and it'll stay, like a slug trail. Like, Dick Drool.
Now, did we coin that phrase, or did you already know that phrase?
I knew exactly what it was when I heard the phrase. I don't know if you coined it, though. Like, I have no idea. I just know that, like, I knew what you meant. I was like, oh, it's so good.
It seemed like a fitting term.
Mm-hmm. One of my favorite things with my partners that I'm sexual with is if it's a guy and they're still in their, underwear, and I'm tying them, and all of a sudden I see, like, a dot of, like, moisture come through. I'm like, oh, you're really into this. That's hot. Like,
anyway, so this week we're talking about dollification.
Dollification!
Because another term that you tweeted about that I had to go, what? Like, by the sound of it, I knew what it was, but I was thinking, I had to have like, maybe it's not what I think it is.
Well, there's lots of different things it can be. So can we start with some of the different type of dolls that I am versus other people I know are? I'm going to start with that.
And we're talking about actual human.
Yes, we're talking about actual humans. So there are rubber dolls. These are people that are super into dressing up in latex or rubber and, like, body modifying using inflatables or heavy corsets. A lot of times they'll wear, like, face masks. And I'm not that. I understand why people do that, and I think it's gorgeous, but I'm allergic to latex, so it's not a thing I do. But people, it's anything from how the latex is shiny to the smooth texture of it. They'll change out their genitalia by using, different sorts of cat suits. It's really intense. So some people use it also to cross-dress, and I personally feel that cross-dressing is a form of dollification, but transsexualism is not. And somebody's going to be mad at me for that. But I also feel that clownification, which is turning people into clowns or being a clown, is a form of dollification, or it is like a parallel universe to it, because you are creating a character. Another sort of doll that you have is you have a freewheel doll, which is more what I am, and it's intelligent design. I am pre-programmed to know to do all the things. I know how to have, sex. I know how to give a blowjob. I know how to do the dishes. But it's about the whole, like, caring for the doll thing. So then you have other people that are more kitty puppy dolls. They want to dress up. They want to play. They want to have tea. Almost little-like. And then you have other people that are inanimate objects, and I also fall in that realm, depending. They want to get themselves all decked up, get in a box, and then when they're taken out, get played with and moved around like they are an inanimate object, like just a doll. There is no heartbeat, there is no brain. They get flailed around and used however they want. And that can go into puppetry and marionette play, which I also do as a top. But
wait, how do you do marionette play?
You turn people into live puppets.
Do you attach strings to them?
Yes. If you have the right hard point, you can. I just did a huge performance for the Rope Bondage Extravaganza #2. It's on FetLife, and I turned her into a doll. And then I marionetted her, so her arms flailed and everything moved, and it was really fun and really cool.
I really want to see that.
Okay, we can make that happen. So that's like 3 or 4 different kinds of dolls. I'm sure there are more, but those are mostly the ones I see. Like anywhere from the rubber and cross-dressing to the clown stuff. And I like clownification because I also have a thing for balloons pretty hardcore, which sucks because I'm allergic to latex. Yeah, figured that one out. I have other people blow up the balloons and then I let them go so that they can spin around the room. And that does it for me. You're so confused. If you guys could see his face right now, his jaw dropped open, his head cocked, and he was like, huh.
Do you ever watch the show Bob's Burgers?
No, but Mr. Panda does and said I should watch it.
There's one episode that I love where they go down to Florida to visit her parents, and they find out that they moved into a swingers community.
Oh, no.
It's a great episode. And
I'm going to have to find that now.
And in it, like, the dad, they're going to get kicked out because they don't go to any of the parties or anything. And that's part of the lease that they have to. And by the end of the episode, you find out that the dad has a very peculiar fetish. Mm-hmm. And his fetish is he likes to watch women sit on balloons.
Oh, yeah, there's a huge porn. You know, I have some of it on my Twitter. I love to watch, like, I think Jiffy Pop. I watch their stuff. And there's also, you know, talking about fetish, that whole, like, inanimate object doll thing. There are totally porns where the girls are limp rag dolls. And the guys move them around and fuck them in different ways while they're just, like, hanging limp. And it is, and every once in a while, I love to watch and see if they break character. That's my favorite part. Like, if they break character and giggle or, like, blink, I'm like, ha, 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 it's a real person, you know, but that's what's fun about it for me.
I've watched a lot of porn. I've never stumbled upon that.
Maybe you gotta have a fetish and be looking for it.
And when I go to porn sites, I'm just browsing them all, like...
Oh, no, I look very specifically for those. And, like, once I find an actress that does that, I start to look at the rest of her work or his work. Not that I have any one favorite in mind. Odette, that tiny, tiny, blonde, adorable girl, she does some dollification or some little stuff sometimes that I'm like, oh, that's kind of hot.
You might have to send me some links later. Okay,
she's on my friend feed. It's very enjoyable. So let's see here. What do you need to be a doll? I guess that's kind of a question I get asked all the time. And I am teaching a dollification class at Frolicon, so this is sort of a precursor to that class, I suppose. Like, it's a little bit of a sneak peek. So what do you need to be a doll? Well, you just gotta want to be a doll, frankly. You can have, you know, the fake eyelashes and the spiffy latex outfits or the frilly dresses, or, you know, guys can be dolls too. You can be a cowboy and a Boy Scout and a tiger and really anything you want to be. You can. One of the things that I found really confusing is I tried to gender doll, like when I am doll, what my gender is, and I couldn't. I am a bisexual, white, cis female. But as doll, I am literally whatever my partner dresses me up to be. So does that mean I am a little sailor boy? Does that mean that I'm a soldier? Does that mean, you know, like, and you can feminize that stuff, but you can also really make that masculine. And I've never had any partners that wanted to make me look more masculine or more gender fluid. Most of them are super into girly bits, which is fine. I hadn't realized that that would be a possibility until, I don't know, recently. And I think I tweeted about it because I was so confused. I was like, well, that's weird. I don't have a gender for doll. And I've decided that that's okay, that doll can be a blank slate and be whatever my maker wants me to be. So that's a term I use, maker, instead of master, because they make the doll like how you want it. So Barbie is a veterinarian. Barbie is a cook. Barbie is a mom. Barbie is a soccer player. Barbie is all these different things that you dress her up to be. But at the end of the day, if you take all of that off, she's still just Barbie. She's still a doll. And I think that that's a lot of how like that doll brain for me works.
Now, when you are being a doll, what's your favorite kind of doll to be?
I love to be Alice in Wonderland. I like to be a quiet doll. So I'm very talkative and very loud most of the time.
You know.
I know, right? It's funny. When I am dolled out, I think I freak out my partners because I go from talking a lot to being very still, my hands closed so that my fingers are all touching together like a Barbie doll would be. And they get like a certain cup to them, just like a Barbie, really. And my head will cock and my eyes go a little glazed and my mouth will slightly part. I think it's very cute. It's very Lolita of me to do it. I just want to pose and be pretty and be a piece of art. Or sometimes I have my partners put buttons on me, and like if I press one button, it's like, I love you. And then the next button is like, hurt me. And the next button is, fuck me. And so you can, make each button a different thing, spank me daddy. Like I feel like somebody's going to make that a ringtone. Uh-oh.
No, but I do have a new text tone for you now.
Spank me daddy. You're just, all right, this time of this. But that's, like part of the play that I can incorporate into it with a partner so that they can get some feedback from me. And I also like to have a button that's like, what's your color? So they press that button and I can go, this button is green. And that means I'm still good and we're still having fun. This button is yellow. And then they can press another button that's like, why is that button yellow? Like, so it's kind of, computerized a little bit, which makes it fun for me. It's a little robotic. And then I can say, assessing. And then I stubbed my toe around the last doorway, sir. But then that's why you don't want to stand right now. Like, and so that way I don't have to break scene and I don't have to break. And I'm not going into that much of a lack of conversation space unless I really trust somebody. But it works too, like, especially if you're having sex, because being a rag doll and having sex is really kind of fun on occasion. Like, it's good to feel like the tiny thing. Ooh, and big bulldozers and tractor trailers and stuff. Those are my favorite because they make me doll size. If I stand next to a regular tractor, I'm tiny enough that I look like a doll next to it. And so I love doing photo shoots like that. That's probably my favorite kind of doll. You have questions. I see them.
I know. I'm just taking it all in. Again, I think I might have to explore this.
You're like, that's kind of hot.
Yeah, I'm going to, I keep talking about...
Do it in, like, a really small detail. It can just be, like, nail polish color or underwear color or both. And, like, toenail color, or, like, I have one partner that I'm kind of exploring with that he'll pick the nail polish, and then I'll say, do you want a flagon color? And then one of the fingers will be a different color than the rest of them. And it's because they asked me to, and it makes me feel good, and I can look at that and be like, oh, my nails look pretty, but also that color is for them kind of thing. Some people shave their heads so that they can wear wigs. I have friends out in the UK that do that. I think that's really cool. I would rather grow my hair, thanks. Other tiny ways you can do it. I wear a doll key a lot of the time as a necklace, and people have started to figure out that that's what that is. That's fun. You can call someone's cock the key. I'm going to put the key in you and wake you up. That's good shit right there. That's the stuff dreams are made out of, man.
I don't know why, I'm just picturing a tattoo of a giant lock around a vagina.
Actually, I'm going to get a big lock hole in my back one day. That's the plan.
That sounds like a kinky sex move. Lock hole in the back.
You're not into anal, though. I heard about this story. Which I was going to give you a hard time and shake my finger at you about that, by the way.
Why?
So I have this really fun rule of thumb. That with each partner that is a new sexual partner for me, everything's back on the table unless it's like an absolute trigger, like a cattle prod. That's a big no. But otherwise, everything's back on the table. Anal, fisting, choking out, like some of the things that like with some people it's been really awesome, with other people maybe not. And so I put everything back on the table and I will give it 3 tries. Not all in the same weekend, like that's too much. But, you know, I'll try it and think about it, and then try it again later, think about it, and then try it a third time. And if by the third time I'm like, yeah, that's just not a thing I want to do with that person, that's cool. And they have to respect that. But I've tried it. And I gotta tell you, like, I'm not super big into receiving anal, but there are certain partners that I've had that it has been an amazing, awesome experience. And then there are other partners that I'm like, no. No, that was not. You ripped my butthole. Nope.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh at ripping buttholes.
No, it sucked. Like, don't yank hooks out of buttholes, especially if there's big balls attached to the hooks. Like, just don't do that.
Ah.
Yeah, I was really mad. Really, really, really mad.
Oh.
Yeah, they didn't get try number 2 or 3. That was just the end.
I would imagine so.
Yeah. You damage the property, we have issues.
So waving your finger at me because anal's off the table?
Yeah, because you should try it with other people. And I waved my finger at it when we said that, guys.
Well, I'm trying to think on if it's even come up since then. Not really.
Well, if it hasn't come up, that's something else. You know, like if you don't have a partner that's like, oh, I really want to do that. But don't take it completely off the table just because you had one bad experience.
It's not off the table.
It sounded pretty off the table on that podcast. You were like, never again. And I'm like, whoa. I'm going to need you to reassess your values there, man.
I got PTSD about it.
Aww.
Yes, I am comparing a bad anal sex experience to what people suffer from much worse.
What episode that was? That was like episode 10 or something. It was early on.
Yeah, see, I've grown a lot in the past, almost 40 weeks.
I believe that. You can actually hear it in the episodes. I got us all off topic. We were talking about doll stuff.
Yeah.
But about anal, like, as a doll, you have 3 holes, probably. Some people do, like, enemas and stuff beforehand. Some people have insertables that they are, like, all set to be fucked before anybody uses them. I'm thinking about how to get in a headspace. I used to have a little that would come over and I would babysit them. And we would start by letting them change into their little outfit and their diaper. And then they'd get their pacifier, or we would have, tiny cut up hot dogs and mac and cheese, and we would put on a movie. And so when I think about how I become a doll or how I change headspaces to do that, a lot of it has to do with self-primping, getting my nails done, getting my toes done, doing my hair, putting makeup on, or washing makeup off so I look like a bare-faced doll, putting on the outfit or laying out the outfit to have it put on me, or seeing that it's been laid out, laying down in a box, or sitting in a box. That happened the other weekend. Random box in the middle of Mr. Panda's house, and I'm like, this is mine, and proceed to sit in it. And I don't remember anything that happened for the next hour after that. I have a slight recollection, but I don't have much of one. It was fun. I remember that much.
Has Mr. Panda dressed you up as a doll yet?
A little bit. Like, he will pick stuff for me. He knows I have an entire closet full of, like, Creolin and fluffy gowns and cocktail dresses, because I also like to be, like, a sexy, like, adult doll where I'm in, like, a cocktail dress and we go somewhere nice. Like, we did that tonight. I wore the polka dot dress, and that was super. I think that we will get more into it as we go. I might get in trouble for this. We'll say it anyways. He and I both have a little bit of like a sex toy fetish, as far as like I like to be a sex toy and be used and fucked well and fucked rough, because then I feel useful and I feel like my partner is satisfied and it's really fun. He kind of has something similar, so he's like a Ken doll almost. And so, you know, we'll be in the middle of doing the deed and I'll be like, you're my dirty toy, or, you know, like I'll say something like that. Thus far, it's been really well received. I don't know if it'll be well received after he listens, but what else do you want to know about dolls?
Where can I get one?
Where can you get one? Well, you know, Toys R Us. It's just like a puppy or a kitten or really any other type of bottom, but I'm not a bottom. I'm a top, and I'm a doll. Sort that one out. Mm-hmm. You're going to have 50 more questions for me next time.
Are you pert little?
No.
No?
Nope.
Can a dom be a little?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've seen really great submissive daddies. Oh, man. That's a thing, man. I've met some really amazing couples like that.
And I know I can have my childish moments. I just chalk that up to immaturity.
Can a dom be a little? Yeah. And a dom can be a doll, and a dom can be a masochist. Like, being one thing doesn't negate me from being the other thing. But it is typically seen as a bottom activity.
Yeah.
But, this goes back to the first time we talked. I'm only doing things as a bottom because I've negotiated them and I want to.
Yeah.
I don't do them otherwise, unless I really love my partner and they really, really, really want to try it.
So would you say you're a switch at all, then?
The dominance doesn't switch off.
Yeah, because you can still just at any moment be like, we're done.
Well, but submissives can do that too.
Yeah.
For me, if I have given up the control in the scene, it is a negotiated amount of time that I am not in control and that I'm okay with it. And I guess some people would call that a switch. I don't consider myself a switch. I think that I fluidly play with my primary partners. And by fluidly play, I mean like it happens naturally and healthy in a way that works for our dynamic.
Yeah.
Because Mr. Pannon and I actually don't have a de-ice dynamic. It's something that we've talked about and decided isn't what we need. We need a partner in crime, an equal, somebody that can take on the world with us. That's what I've been looking for my whole life. Is somebody. It's really gross, dude. Oh, it was 3 months, and I was just like, it's been 3 months. I can put you on my profile. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, you don't understand. I don't do that. Like, people wait a long time because I want to make sure that I'm sure that this is a good person in my life before I go announcing to FetLife that I'm with someone.
How did you discover Dollification?
Well, I didn't know it was a thing. As with everything else in my kink world, I just sort of did it. I was like, I like to dress up. I like to be a doll. And I think probably over the past 5 years, it's really started to grow into its own place in my life where I understood it as a want and in some cases a need. Yeah, I'm totally going to blame Lou Rubens for this, though. I went to Kink in the Caribbean. Different time I went, not the fire cupping incident time. There was a Barbie box on the stage there. I think Lou Rubens had brought it, or he had models going in and out of it and playing in it. And I just remember thinking, that's what I need. I need that box. And of course I couldn't have that box. But one day I'm going to have someone make me a doll box that's going to say doll on the front instead of Barbie, and it's going to be turquoise, and it's going to have sparkles and rhinestones. And
is it going to have the clear plastic in the front?
Clear plastic in the front, vent holes on the sides. It's going to open up from the front instead of the top or the bottom. Apparently I put a lot of thought into this. And I want to get those screw... Have you ever seen hardcore fucking websites where they screw girls into like decks and stuff like that with pipe?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, you know what is a pipe? I don't know, crimps it together? Pipe crimper? Maybe? I don't know. It's metal and has little whatever, and you can drill screws into it.
Yeah.
But I would like to get them where they're loose so I could slide my arms in it and then have one that would flip around my waist so it would hold me in there. and like hang my accessories in it.
On the back of the...
Do rope, but I think that the metal would be more legit. I would say that box was a big part of the fantasy becoming reality for me, but I think the other thing was I used to read on Literotica a lot, and there was this really steamy Literotica about how this husband and wife found the perfect box, and she got this cute little outfit, and it was the night that she got to be in the box, and so it built up and built up and built up, and what ended up happening was the husband came home from work and she had already dolled herself up and laid down in the styrofoam in the box. And he opened up the box and he said, "My, what a beautiful doll has shown up for me," and picks her up out of the box and then proceeds to play with her. And, oh, it's self-lubricating. And it got more and more sexy and more sexy. And by the end of reading this, she had broken character and they had giggled and they had had a good time. And then he had snuggled her and, "I love you and you're a wonderful doll." The end. So it was this great happy ending of this great scene. And I remember reading that and I was like, that's fucking weird. And then it kind of kept coming back to me. It was one of those things that I kept thinking about and I was like, no, that's pretty cool. I wonder if I could have a boyfriend that would do that. And it just, it kept growing and growing. And at the same time, I was having partners that were, picking out my clothes and, do you want to be the top tonight? Or, what do you want to do? Or what kind of play do you want to do? And all of a sudden I realized that I was a living, breathing doll. I just didn't have a maker that was doing it for me continually. So I'm my maker. And there are trainers like doll, creators. And I think it's wonderful.
Have you ever seen the movie Lars and the Real Girl?
No, I have not.
You might want to check that one out.
Okay. I will say that Chobits is one of my favorites.
Lars and the Real Girl stars Ryan Gosling. Mm-hmm. And it was an independent movie, and he brings his girlfriend home to meet everyone, mm-hmm. and it's a sex doll that he dressed up.
Interesting.
And treats her just like a real girlfriend.
That's funny.
Well, I think you might like it.
Yeah. Well, and there are those, real sex doll-looking things out there that you purchase. And some people aspire to look like that. I don't. I want to look like a DC doll. I want to look like me. I want that to be what's attractive and adorable and wanted and purchased. But my dollification, it's not just on the bottom, a bottom-ish side. I also really like to do it for people. I'll braid their hair, or I'll, dress them up, or I'll do their makeup if they're over. And in scenes, especially with rope, I like to move them where they're going to move. I like full control of that. And that rope gives me that a little bit. So, well, a lot of it. But it's just the hint of that bit of control to make someone shaped a certain way. It's fun for me. I think there are a lot more dolls out there than people realize. I've met quite a few since I've started traveling, and there's people on FetLife, and there's groups, and I don't identify as a bimbo, so those groups don't always apply for me, but there are people out there like me, so that's kind of nice. It's comforting to know that I'm not just some weirdo that wants to be a plastic thing.
Well, there's one thing I've learned since getting on FetLife. You're always going to find other people that are into the same stuff.
Hey, we're all people, dude. Some of us just shit our pants. It's a thing. I'll have to tell you that story sometime. Blew your mind.
All I know is one day I might just start mailing you, random balloons.
Oh, my goodness.
But you're allergic, so...
No. You don't understand. There's a balloon... Oh, I'm so excited. I was looking at the Frolicon lineup today because Midori's coming, and that's super. And I realized that there is a balloon bondage class. I am going to this class. Not only am I going to this class, I am going to participate in this class. I'll take Benadryl. It's fine.
So it's not that severe of a reaction.
It's more like my girl bits really are not a fan of the latex.
Would you balloon up?
Yes, I did. It's really not fun. You only have to do that twice to be like, maybe it's the condom. So. Oh, wait,
that's what you balloons up?
Yep. Oh, no, I got it. It was funny. It was very punny. Very punny.
Do you watch Rick and Morty?
No.
Moving on. Anyway, about the balloon bondage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, was it just taking deflated balloons and tying up with?
No, it sounds like it's gonna, and I'll have to report back to you about it because I'm really excited. We should just do another podcast on balloons and that. We have another one!
There we go.
So next month, yes.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're gonna, like, blow them up and then twist and shape them to...
Oh, okay.
And then you can do, like, tickle torture and stuff. And for me, for kink, I'm like, if we're not having fun, I don't want to do it. So I've done balloon bondage, like, in pools where I use it as flotation devices. There's pictures of that I've done on my profile. But this is something else. They're going to use balloons in lieu of rope. And I am ecstatic because it's something that I've wanted to try and to learn about. But I haven't really found anyone that does it. Like, not truly. It's like 2 years ago I really wanted to learn more about mummification and found out that there really wasn't a ton of information. And then I went to the gay community and they were like, oh, bitch, we got you. And I was like, so now tell me about the safety of this. And they're like, what safety? That's not true. They gave me great advice. And now I know all kinds of different mummification play. And can teach it and feel really comfortable doing it. Because it is similar to bondage and rope bondage, I just needed to understand how they were applying things differently and what the headspace was. Because I'm fairly claustrophobic and I have zero desire to ever be mummified again. I've tried it a couple times and I hate it. But I understand now why people enjoy it. So the balloons, I really want to mummify someone in balloons. Because they squeak, and I don't like it when balloons pop, though. That's a thing. Like, you have two kind of looners. You got, like, the poppers and the blower uppers, and let them go. And I'm not a popper.
This has been another great episode with you.
Thank you for having me again.
Do you have any closing things or closing words you would like to say?
Well, you're putting me on the spot, man. I like cookies. Give me chocolate.
Chocolate-covered balloons.
That would be interesting. Tastes funny. Oh, why don't cannibals eat clowns?
They taste funny?
Yes.
Would have been better if you didn't say the punchline first.
Sure.
This is Ben King Hulk.
Oh, I'm dropping a little bit. This is the drop laugh. Okay, you better turn it off.
This has been King Hulk. Until next week, stay kinky. When is Frolicon?
Mother's Day weekend, yes. Typically it's on Easter weekend. This year it's on Mother's Day weekend.
Do mothers get a discount?
No.
What if you bring your mother?
I really hope my parents don't show up. They tried to last year. I wish I was kidding.
What?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, I'm teaching at Frolicon for Easter, so I won't be around, and because they know I teach.
Yeah.
I don't always tell them everything I teach, but they know I teach. And they were like, oh, is this something we could go to? We're going to be in town. And I was like, no, it's all sold out. I'm sorry. Well, we really wanted to see you teach and do your rope thing. And I'm like, my classes are about sex. No. And I was teaching at the Eagle last year as well. And my mom's like, oh, I think I'll come. And I'm like, you're not going to a gay bar with me, Mom. You are way too religious for that. Like, you will judge the shit out of my life if you come along.